Welcome back, class 9, to the online bio classes. We had already started the second chapter, tissues. Today we are going to continue from that previous topic only, meristematic tissue, which you have already studied. We are studying about the plant tissue. The first one was meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue characters also we have done. Now today we have to do the second one, that is permanent tissue. What is permanent tissue? Such plant tissues which arise means they are born from meristematic tissue only, but they have lost the capacity to divide, each called permanent tissue. Now we will study about the characters of permanent tissue. The first characteristic is cells have lost the capacity to divide. Okay, means the cells cannot divide. The second characteristic is the cells of permanent tissues, they have cell wall which may be thin or thick. So next point you can write is thin or thick cell wall. Presence of thin or thick cell wall. So cells have got thin or thick cell walls. Number 3 or the third characteristics of permanent tissue, cells undergo differentiation. What is the meaning of differentiation is very important to understand. Cells undergo differentiation. Differentiation means the cells can, this meaning, differentiation meaning, cells can undergo changes from the simple type to the complex type. Like example you can say, when the zygote, which is a single cell that is formed after the fusion of the gametes, male and female gametes, it undergo differentiation, means it will undergo some changes to form the more complex type of cells. That is the meaning of differentiation, means cells undergo changes from simpler to complex types. So cells undergo differentiation to assume, means to take different shape, they assume different shape, different size and functions. Different types of functions they will do. Okay, cells of permanent tissues. Then next, the cells may be living or dead. Cells may be living or dead. Means some of them are living cells, others are dead cells. Generally most of them are dead cells only. Then the cytoplasm is almost very small and it is pushed towards the periphery. The next characteristic is cytoplasm is pushed towards the periphery. Periphery means towards the corner of the cell. Why? Because of the presence of a very big and prominent vacuum, means empty space is there. So next point is thus due to the presence of a big and prominent vacuum, vacuole. Vacuole means the empty space is present which pushes the cytoplasm towards the periphery. Okay, and nucleus may be present if it is a living cell. If it is a dead cell, the nucleus is absent. And cells have already lost the power of or the capacity to divide. Now next point, important point is intercellular space is, in case of meristematic tissue, the gap which was present between the cells, it was absent, but here it can be present. Okay, so cells may possess intercellular space. There is no place to write here, so you can write intercellular space present. Intercellular space present means the gap between the cells, like this, the gap which is there, this gap or the intercellular space is present between them. Any more characteristics which we have left out? The nucleus is small as compared to the size of the cell. Means if the size of the cell is quite big, the nucleus will be smaller to it. So all these are the characteristics of permanent tissue. Cells have lost the capacity to divide. There may be thin or thick wall, that is the cell wall. And number 3, cells undergo differentiation. Differentiation means they undergo changes from simple to more complex type. To assume means to take different shape, size and functions. cells may be living or dead. Some of them are living, others are dead. And cytoplasm is pushed towards the periphery, means towards the corner, due to the presence of a very big and prominent vacuole. So next we will study about differences. Okay, now next we have to study, you can see the tabular differences between meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. What are they? Cells are small. Cells are comparatively small, means as compared to permanent tissue, small size cells are found in meristematic tissue, and here cells are bigger in size. Now second point, or the second difference between meristematic and permanent tissue is they have thin wall, thin cell wall. Cell wall is thin, and here in permanent tissue the cells may have thin or thick wall. Thin or thick walled cells. So cells may have thin or thick wall. Then the third difference is cells are always living, and here it can be living or dead, both. Living or dead cells, both are possible. In case of permanent tissue, the cells may be living or dead. And here in meristematic tissue, intercellular space is absent. But in case of permanent tissue, the intercellular space is present. That is, the gap between the cells is present in permanent tissues. Okay, then the next point is prominent nucleus, means the nucleus is clearly visible. Prominent nucleus. Here the nucleus is small as compared to the size of the cell. Small nucleus as compared to the cell size. Then in case of meristematic tissue, vacuoles are small. Vacuoles are small or absent. Here the vacuoles are big, or a large vacuole or empty space is present in case of permanent tissues. Here the cytoplasm is dense. Cytoplasm is dense and fully present, but here cytoplasm is pushed towards the periphery. Cytoplasm is pushed towards the periphery. Periphery means towards the corner, that is towards the cell wall. Now next point, meristematic tissue is made up of cells which are not differentiated, means undifferentiated cells. I told you what is the meaning of differentiated, means they will undergo changes from simple to complex type, but here differentiated cells. Cells are differentiated to assume definite shape, size and function. So differentiated cells. So how many points we have done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of this, any 5, 6 points you can learn. Now next which we have to do is differences. Okay. Now next we have to do types of permanent tissue. Types of permanent tissue. Now how many types of permanent tissues are there? Depending on the constitution of the cell, permanent tissues are divided broadly into two categories. What are they? Number A, simple tissue, and number B is complex tissue. Now, what is simple permanent tissue? How to define it? I'm just saying, not writing. A permanent tissue which is made up of only one type of cells. I'll put here in the bracket one type of cells. One type of cells. Whereas a permanent tissue which is made up of more than one type of cells is called complex tissue. More than one type of cells. If it is made up of more than one type of cells, such a permanent tissue is called complex tissue. Whereas if it is made up of only one type of cell, it is called simple tissue. Now, simple tissue are further classified into three types. What are they? Parenchyma, number one. Here, number two, I will write here. Collenchyma, and the third one, this one, is sclerenchyma. So what are they? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma are the three types of simple permanent tissue which is made up of only one types of cells. Then complex permanent tissue is further divided into two types. What are they? Xylem and phloem. Now this xylem and phloem, both of them are complex permanent tissue. Xylem is the permanent tissue which helps in the transportation of water and minerals from the roots to other parts of the plant, whereas phloem is a permanent, complex permanent tissue which helps in the conduction of food from the leaves to all parts of the plant. So what is xylem made up of? Now this xylem is made up of four different types of cells or elements. They are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Similarly, this phloem is also made up of four different types of cells. That's why it is called complex tissue. What are they? It is sieve tube, companion cells. Number two is companion cells. And number three is parenchyma, that is phloem parenchyma. And the last one is phloem fibers. Okay? So what are the, now this sclerenchyma is further divided into two types, fibers and sclerites. This also we can write classification, further classification of sclerenchyma tissue. It is of two types, fibers and sclerites. So now next we will do is the types, this one. First permanent tissue, that is parenchyma. Okay. Now, what is this parenchyma tissue? Okay. Now next we have to do is the simple permanent tissues. First one is parenchyma. This word or the term parenchyma was given by N. Grew, the name of the scientist. It is found in all parts of the plant. It is found in all parts of the plant, like roots, stems and leaves. Everywhere parenchyma tissue is found, and their main function is storage of food. And they are different types of modifications also. But one by one we will study about its characteristics. What are the characteristics, the diagram and all? What are the character or characteristics of parenchyma tissue? Parenchyma tissue is made up of isodiametric cells. Isodiametric cells. Isodiametric cells means, like if I draw the cell here, this is one of the parenchyma cell. The diameter, because it represents a circle, the diameter means this one, the line which passes through the center, is almost same. So all the cells which are there, they have same diameter, means equal diameter is there. Okay. Such type of cells is called parenchyma tissue, which is made up of cells that are isodiametric. Their cell wall, because it is a living plant cell, so it is living also, you can write one more character, living cells. Then they have thin cell walls. Their cell wall is thin, made up of, what is cell wall made up of? Generally it is made up of cellulose. So here also it is made up of cellulose. Cells are isodiametric, living, they have thin cell wall, and intercellular space, like this is the gap which is present, intercellular space is present. Intercellular space is present. Means the gap which is present between the cells, like here the gap is present, this one also, and this one also. If I draw another cell here, this one will represent the intercellular space or the gap which is present between the cells. So these cells are living. They have thin cell wall which is made up of cellulose, that is called cellulosic cell wall, and they are isodiametric, means having equal diameter. All of them are of same shape and size. Mostly they are spherical, oval. So what is the shape? They are spherical, oval, or they are polygonal in shape. We can write spherical or oval shape, as it is seen here. Spherical or oval only you can write. Okay, and they have a dense cytoplasm. So this also characteristics you can write. They have dense cytoplasm. Means because the nucleus is also there, they have the cytoplasm. They are living cells also. Now next we have to study is occurrence. Where are they found? Now can you see any vacuoles present in these cells? No, because vacuoles are present. If present, they are very small, or they are totally absent. So that point also you can write. Vacuoles are small or they are absent from these cells. Now where they are found? Occurrence already I have written. It is found in all the soft parts of the plant. Like it is found in the xylem tissue also. It is found in the phloem also, that is, it is found in the vascular bundles in the form of xylem parenchyma, phloem parenchyma. It is found in the cortex. It is found in the epidermis. Means in many parts of the plant it is present, the xylem. It is found in the food storage tissue where the food is stored. It is also present in the roots, in the leaves, in the stems, everywhere. Now next, in the mesophyll of leaves, you know, mesophyll is the name of the tissue which makes the leaf cells, which is made up of palisade and spongy parenchyma. Now next we have to study is the modifications of parenchyma tissue. What all changes it undergo? Like first one, modification is parenchyma is modified or changed to form chlorenchyma. Now what is chlorenchyma? If chloroplast is present, chlorenchyma, modifications of parenchyma we are doing now. Modifications of parenchyma means how parenchyma tissue changes to carry out different types of functions. First one is chlorenchyma. A parenchyma tissue containing chloroplast is called chlorenchyma, and because chloroplast is present, and you know the function of chloroplast, it is the site of photosynthesis. So chlorenchyma helps in photosynthesis. So what to write about chlorenchyma? A type of parenchyma that contains chloroplast. A type of parenchyma that contains chloroplast. A type of parenchyma that contains chloroplast is called chlorenchyma. And what is the function? It helps to synthesize or to make food by photosynthesis. That is the function of chlorenchyma. And it is divided into two types. So two types of cells are there. What are they? Spongy parenchyma and palisade parenchyma. Spongy parenchyma, as the name suggests, they are spherical or round in shape, whereas palisade parenchyma is the one which is made up of tall columnar pillar-like cells that contains the chloroplast. Both of them, spongy and palisade parenchyma is found in the mesophyll tissue of the leaves that help in photosynthesis. Okay. Then next, this is the first modification, chlorenchyma. The second modification is eirenchyma. This type of parenchyma tissue is found in aquatic plants. Where it is found? In aquatic plants. Means the plants which are found in water. In such plants, air cavities are present. Air cavities are present in the cells of parenchyma tissue. In the cells of parenchyma. Means parenchyma cells contain air cavities. And due to the presence of these air cavities, they become light in weight. And that helps them in the power of buoyancy. Buoyancy means floating. B-U-O-Y-A-N-C-I. Buoyancy in floating. Buoyancy means floating of aquatic plants is possible because of eirenchyma tissue. So eirenchyma tissue is the one. It is a type of parenchyma tissue in which air cavities are present between the cells, which helps them to provide flotation power or buoyancy in the aquatic plant so that they can float on the surface of water. Okay. Now next we have to study is storage parenchyma. Number 2 already completed. Third one is storage parenchyma. As the name suggests, a parenchyma tissue which is used for storage of fats, oils, starch granules, that is storage of food. It is called storage parenchyma. Storage parenchyma. It stores different types of food materials. That food materials can be starch granules, it can be in the form of oils, it can be in the form of fats, it can be in the form of sugar. All these are present in the cotyledons of the seeds, because seeds cotyledons are those places where food is stored. Okay, in the endosperm and cotyledons, these are the two places where food is stored inside the seed. So this type of parenchyma tissue is present in the endosperm and cotyledons. So what is the function? To store food. And where it is found? It is found in this storage parenchyma is found in cotyledons and endosperm. In the cotyledons and endosperm of seed. Okay. Now next one is number 4. The fourth one is called idioblast. I-D-I-O-B-L-A-S-T. This one you have to learn particularly. What is idioblast? It is a type of parenchyma that stores and produces tannins, gums, resins, latex. So some parenchyma cell produces and stores tannins, oils and crystals of calcium oxalate. They are called idioblast. I write this definition. Some parenchyma cells produces and stores tannins, crystals of calcium oxalate. So what they do? Some parenchyma cells, they produces and stores tannins, oils, crystals of calcium oxalate. Tannins, oils and crystals. Oils I have not written. Tannins, oils and crystals of calcium oxalate. They are called idioblast. Such cells are called idioblasts or idioblasts. So what is idioblast? It is a type of parenchyma tissue that produces and stores tannins, oils and crystals of calcium oxalate in its cells. Now next we have the last one, prosenchyma. That is the last type of modification of parenchyma. The long and thick walled parenchyma tissue which is found in xylem and phloem is called prosenchyma. This is the fifth modification of parenchyma tissue. What is it? Prosenchyma. Just check this spelling, prosenchyma. What is prosenchyma? A thick parenchyma tissue, long and thick parenchyma tissue which is present in the xylem and phloem. So its definition is given in your book. Long thick walled parenchyma is called prosenchyma. Long thick walled parenchyma is called prosenchyma. These both the definitions I wrote so that you can write and run in your copy also. The example you can write xylem and phloem. In xylem and phloem, this prosenchyma is present. So today up to here only. Now what will be your homework? I will just say, first you will write question number 1. Write the number of tabular differences, at least minimum 5. 5 differences between meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Then the second question which you can do, draw the classification chart of permanent tissue as I have drawn on the board, showing 2 types of permanent tissues, simple and complex. Then simple further divided into 3 types, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and complex further divided into 2 types, xylem and phloem, and the name of the cells which makes those xylem and phloem, that is tracheids, vessels, all those you have to write in that classification chart in the copy. Then next, only these 2 questions you can do as homework, okay? These modifications of parenchyma and all later on we can do. So we can continue in the next class. Thank you.